Alright, what is up everybody? So I've had the T7 for about 1,300 miles now. I've had a chance to ride it in pretty much every condition that I plan on normally riding it in. And so I've come up with the suspension settings that I've liked. I've quit making adjustments to those suspension settings. So I wanted to share those with you guys. So, double check myself. Alright, so starting with the rear. Rear preload, I'm at 18 clicks in from the softest setting. Rear rebound, I'm 18 clicks out. And I am only 1 click out on the rear compression. So for reference, I'm 5'7", 32-inch inseam. And as far as weight, around 165 with a helmet and boots. So if you're around a similar weight as me, give these settings a shot or compare them to your settings and see what you think of them. Now I do carry a passenger with me on occasion, so I do have that preload setting a little on the stiff side. If I was never going to be carrying a passenger, I might take a click or two out of it. But I also come from dirt bike, motocross background to some extent. So with that in mind, I prefer a little stiffer setup. And at my weight, we're really pressing the rear spring and clickers to the limit. So definitely if you're 200 plus pounds, I can see how those guys, if doing spirited riding, would want a little more out of the rear suspension. And then on the front compression, we're 12 clicks out, and on the rebound on the front, we are 6 clicks out. So at those settings, in 1,300 miles roughly, I have not yet used the bottom 1 inch, 1.5 inch of stroke. Again, coming from dirt bikes, growing up on it as a child, I don't mind a stiff setting, and I would prefer to never hardly ever bottom out the front and kind of keep that last inch of stroke in my back pocket in case I'm firing down a dirt road with some pace and find myself, running up on a pothole or a ditch across the road. I would rather kind of have that little extra bit there. So I by no means consider myself riding this bike aggressively, but running some of the dirt roads I run on, kind of run higher speeds, 45, 50, and if you stumble across a little stream crossing or a pothole, it's nice to not just blow straight through the front. In 1,300 miles, I've probably, with these current settings, I did tweak the rear a little bit from my initial settings. With these settings at my weight and my riding style, I have bottomed the rear twice, 3 times total, and since then I went 1 extra click on compression, and then I went 2 clicks more of preload. So all in all, I've bottomed the rear 3 times, and I've yet to bottom the front. And like I said, I've kind of used up all but the bottom inch of stroke on the front, and I'm running the stock rear tires, so some of these wheelies don't pan out that good on this loose gravel. So anyway, there's my suspension settings. Again, if you're around my weight, try these numbers. If you're not familiar with tuning suspension, I am by no means an expert, but I know how to kind of tune it for how I like it. So this is kind of where I like it. If you're around my weight, maybe a few pounds heavier and you're not as aggressive of a rider, again, I'm no Adam Riemann, Paul Torres, or however you say their names. I'm not those guys. But if you're less aggressive than me, then and a little heavier, these settings might work for you. If you're my weight and mostly just going to use it on the road, take a click or two out of the compression and see how these settings do for you. You may like them, but you may dislike them, but this may be a good starting point nonetheless. So that's all I got. Hopefully that helps somebody out who is a similar weight to me, and like I said, maybe a good starting point for you, and then you can make your own adjustments from there. So we'll catch you on the next one.